Welcome to all my late night mysteries listeners. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode. In the vast expanse of the human experience, there lies a fragile boundary between the known and the unknown, a thin veil separating reality from the unseen forces that lurk in the shadows. Often, we traverse the world with a sense of certainty, comforted by the familiar and the tangible. Yet, there are moments when this veil is lifted, revealing the mysteries that defy logic and challenge our understanding of existence. It is in these moments that we confront the true nature of fear, not just of the dark or the unknown, but of the inexplicable forces that can follow us, haunt us, and blur the line between our world and the other. As you embark on this tale, remember that some roads lead not only to destinations, but also to the depths of our deepest fears. I am Wraith. This is Late Night Mysteries. You are listening to Mysterious Encounters Edition.
Disclaimer: this is a work of fiction. Any names, characters, businesses, places, events, or incidents are fictitious. Any resemblance to actual persons, living or dead, or actual events is purely coincidence.
In the quiet darkness of a Friday night, four friends embark on what they believe will be a routine drive home after a joyous wedding celebration. Traveling along the infamous East Coast Expressway 2, generally known as LPT2 in short, a road shrouded in tales of eerie occurrences, they soon find themselves plunged into a nightmarish journey. As the highway's long, deserted stretches give way to inexplicable and terrifying events, the friends must confront the unsettling realization that some horrors aren't just stories. They are real, and they're coming home with them. This is their story. Late one Friday evening, a group of four friends, Amir, Sazwan, Rizal, and Asman, set off on a road trip from Kuala Terengganu to Kuala Lumpur after attending a friend's wedding. They had taken this journey via the East Coast Expressway 2 several times before. But something about this night felt different. The night was calm, the road was clear, and the only sounds were the hum of the car engine and the occasional chatter Osman, the most experienced driver among them, took the wheel with Amir in the front passenger seat. Sazwan and Rizal, tired from the day's festivities, dozed off in the back seat. As they drove through the dark stretches of the highway, the moonlight cast eerie shadows through the trees, and Osman began to feel a strange chill. He checked the car's temperature controls, but everything seemed fine. Dismissing it as fatigue, he tried to relax, but the unsettling feeling persisted. About an hour into the journey, Osman noticed something unusual in the rearview mirror. A shadowy figure sitting between Sazwan and Rizal. He blinked, thinking his eyes were playing tricks on him. But the figure remained. Heart pounding, Osman turned around to check. But the backseat was empty. When he looked back at the mirror, the shadowy figure had vanished. Trying not to alarm the others, Osman kept the sighting to himself, though the memory lingered. Suddenly, the car shuddered and the steering wheel jerked as if pulled by an unseen force. The car skidded dangerously close to the edge of the highway. Osman's heart raced as he fought to regain control, narrowly avoiding a crash. He pulled over to the side of the road, his hands shaking. The friends exchanged nervous glances, unsure of what had just happened. The road was dry, the conditions perfect. There was no reason for the car to have skidded. They decided to take a break, stepping out to stretch their legs and calm their nerves. But the night air was still, and a feeling of unease hung over them. As they discussed the incident, Sazwan suddenly felt an intense coldness envelop him. She shivered despite the warm night, and an overwhelming sense of dread washed over him.
Hey, do you guys feel that?
Sazwan asked, his voice trembling.
It's like something's here with us.
The others shook their heads, but the look in Sazwan's eyes was enough to unsettle them further. Reluctantly, they decided to continue the journey, hoping to distance themselves from this eerie stretch of road. Back on the highway, the car seemed to run fine for a while. But as they neared a particularly isolated section of LPT2, the engine suddenly sputtered and died. The car coasted silently to a stop, and all attempts to restart it failed. Osman checked under the hood, but everything appeared normal. The battery was fine, and there was plenty of fuel. Yet the engine remained dead. Panic set in as they realized they were stranded in the middle of nowhere, with no other cars in sight. The night seemed to close in around them, and the feeling of being watched grew stronger. Sazwan, still shaken from the earlier cold sensation, avoided looking into the nearby forest, afraid of what he might see. As they sat in the car, trying to decide what to do next, Sazwan suddenly gasped.
Hey, look.
He pointed toward the densely forested area. He thought he saw a white apparition standing on a tree branch, just a short distance from the roadside. Everyone turned to see what had caught his attention, but from the car, they saw nothing. Fear grew as they all heard a soft giggle from the distance.
I think I saw a white figure on that branch. And now you all could hear giggles too, right? Do you think it's a pun?
Saswan's voice trembled, but was interrupted by Asman.
Shh! You know you're not supposed to say anything unnecessarily when you see strange things.
Asman furiously whispered. Tension mounted as Asman and Saswan grew more agitated, but the others tried to calm them down, not wanting panic to lead to something worse. Saswan apologized regretfully for his outburst. At that moment, the car engine roared back to life on its own, startling everyone. Without thinking, Asman hit the accelerator, speeding down the highway as fast as he could. The eerie presence had vanished, but the fear in the car was palpable. For the remainder of the drive, no one spoke. The atmosphere was thick with dread, and every shadow seemed to harbor unseen horrors. The friends were too afraid to check the rear of the car, fearing the figure might return. As they neared the outskirts of Kuala Lumpur, the familiar lights of the city brought some relief. Asman finally pulled into a petrol station, and they all got out, visibly shaken by the night's events. While they waited for their nerves to settle, an elderly station attendant approached them. He looked at their pale faces and asked,
"Just gotten back from LPT2?
They nodded, too tired and frightened to ask how he knew.
There's something about that highway.
The attendant said quietly.
People say it's cursed. Strange things happen there. Seeing figures, cars skidding, engines dying for no reason. That it's not the highway it's haunted. It's the people who travel it."
The friends exchanged uneasy glances.
What do you mean, Pachi?
Amir asked, his voice barely above a whisper. The old man sighed.
Okay, listen. Those who see shadows, apparitions, their faces, they carry something with them. It follows them wherever they go. Some say it's the spirits of those who have died on the road. Others say it's something more sinister. But once it attaches to you, it's nearly impossible to shake it off.
A cold silence fell over the group as the realization sank in. The horrors that they had experienced were not confined to the highway. They had brought something with them, something that would not easily let go. As they drove home, each of them exchanged uneasy glances, knowing that the real terror was just beginning. This story reminds us that some experiences leave lasting impressions that can't easily be escaped. It emphasizes the importance of respecting the unknown and heeding signs of danger, as some encounters, whether with the supernatural or unexplained, can follow us long after the initial event, affecting our lives in ways we may never fully understand. Well, that's all we have for today. Once again, I am Wraith. Thank you for listening, and I will see you on the next episode of Late Night Mysteries.